When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying. Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
All right. Once again, we are on for season 4 of Hidden Gems Football. He is the great Mike Steph. I am the MoJoKing. I'm still using my rap name. Mike Steph, how are you doing?
All right, Mr. MoJoKing. I'm doing all right. You know, my name doubles as, I guess, my rap entity, and it's actually the majority of my real name without the ENS at the end. You know, so I'm multifaceted. How about you?
Well, now you just snitched on your full name. Now everybody knows who you are.
Listen. I'm very easy to find. I mean, over the last couple of years, I found being my true, authentic self. It's been so liberating. I don't have to worry about, you know, expectations. I don't have to worry about, oh, what's that persona that you have? No, what you see is what you get. Mike Steph, real name, no gimmicks.
Well, I'm keeping my alias because I don't want the government to know who I am. All right, okay. So Mike Steph, happy belated birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you very much. You know, I'm blessed to reach another circle around the sun. Blessed to still have my health, and just blessed to be everything that I'm trying to be and more. You know, the marathon don't stop, the journey continues, and yeah, I appreciate you greatly for that.
You're appreciated too, brother. Hope you had a fun time.
Yeah, you know, the Mets lost, but what else is new? You know, we're still in second place. We're still in wild card position. These last check, so not all is not lost.
I know, you got to wait till next month and then your Jets start losing too. But we're not talking about the Jets this week. We're talking about the NFC West, our world famous preview. We're going to start off with Arizona Cardinals. Actually, Mike Steph, before we even get into the Cardinals, last year, we did a preview. You were 3-1 in this division as far as the over-unders. I was 2-2.
Listen, I don't know how you keep on being so mediocre and continuing year after year after year. Because I know once we started these preseason previews, I've been killing them, you know, but we'll see. You got another year to improve. You got another year to get up on my level because, you know, there is levels to this ish. And right now, I'm here and you my bro. So I listen, one is not above the other. I just try to pull you up. We're not crabs in the barrel here, you know. We're simpatico, so you know, just do better next time.
Oh, my friend. Because I actually have all the numbers. So okay. You might be happy that you were a little bit nicer to me at the end. Okay. Let's just put it that way. Now, let's start off with the Arizona Cardinals. Last year, they were kind of mediocre, 8-9, but a big improvement off of 23 and the 22 season, when each season they were 4-13. As far as total points, their offense was ranked 11th, scoring 23.5 points a game. Their defense was ranked 16, both pretty mediocre. Their head coach is Jonathan Gannon. He's entering his third season. He's 12-22 with this team. At key positions, our skill position players, quarterback Kyler Murray is coming off a pretty solid season. Of course, he recovered from his injury from the year before. At running back, we have James Conner, who broke over 1,000 yards for the second season in a row. Trey Benson is his backup. The number one wide receiver, Marvin Harrison, who kind of disappointed last year with 885 yards and 8 touchdowns. They expected him to blow out as a rookie. Maybe he'll do this as a sophomore. On the other side is Michael Wilson, who actually is in concussion protocol right now. And then third receiver, maybe Zay Jones, maybe Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch, of course, has been with the team for a while. He's a little guy. He's 5'7". And then at tight end is tight end extraordinaire Trey McBride. Mike Steph, I went through the skill positions, but what do you think about this team as a whole?
Well, I think this team has made have been leaps and bounds better than they were in previous years. But the one constant is Kyler Murray. And you said that, or you asked whether or not Marvin Harrison was going to make that jump from rookie year to second year. one of the bad things, or one of the things that have been much talked about, was the lack of cohesion, the lack of chemistry between your star wide receiver and Kyler Murray. And who does that fall on? Well, Kyler Murray entering his 7th year. Can you believe it's actually seven years he's been here? He's actually lasted 7 years. But when is the potential of what he can be actually going to come to his fruition? And whether or not he is the type of player he's going to raise the level of talent around him, or he's just going to be about himself. And that has been one of the little scuttlebutts around his fledgling career so far. Is okay, he is a talent. He's great, but what does he do with the people around him? So the Cardinals spent this offseason overhauling the defensive front, adding first-round pick Walter Nolan III to the defensive line, alongside a free agent haul that included pass rushers Josh Sweat, which is great, and Calais Campbell. He's still in the league, and it looks like he's out in the desert. Who else goes out to the desert? Retirees. So there's a reason why he went to the desert, but neither here nor there. Now, the last person that they picked up was Dalvin Tomlinson to put in the middle of the line. Now, what I really feel is the blueprint is, okay, we know our offense, if it clicks on all cylinders, we should be top half of the league. So all we just need to do is tweak a little thing. But the defense needed to overhaul. So therefore, if they can raise the level to the defense, that keeps the offense on the field longer and gives them more scoring opportunities, maybe they can improve on that 8-9 mediocre record. I know one of our colleagues would be happy if they win 9-8, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll get into predictions, I'm quite sure, pretty soon. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Cardinals.
All right, you walked right into it. Actually, you walked exactly into it. The over/under is 8.5. Are you going over or under?
I'm going under. Listen, until they prove to me that they're worthy of me thinking positively for them, I'm going under. I'm not a believer in Kyler Murray. Like, for all his talent, I just think he is what he is right now, especially, like I said, in his 7th year. They got to the playoffs once and he crapped the bed. Actually, he birthed a segment of mine, but that will not be named on this platform. But he birthed that because based on his pitiful performance, and he has yet to actually return there. So over under 8.5. Yeah, I'm going under. I think they'll be probably be 8-9 again. A little luck, they might be 7-10.
Oh boy. I think you're just trying to get under Tyler's skin with all of this, because I actually agree with everything that you said during your analysis as far as what the offense looks like, what is Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison, are they going to click? Because they definitely didn't click last year. But still, Marvin Harrison almost had 900 yards. I think they might step up a little bit. But what the true power of what the Cardinals did during the offseason was improve their defense, particularly their pressure and their line. I think that should be enough to get them over the 8 wins and finally have a winning season. That late season Kyler Murray fade is real, though, so I am a little concerned. I don't know if I would exactly bet it, but if you ask me over under, I think they're going to win 9 or 10 games, so I'm going over. One last thing about this, as far as a fantasy twist, James Conner played either 15 or 16 games last year, which was the second time, which is now he's done that back-to-back years. I still don't trust him completely as far as staying healthy. He never did in his career before these last couple of years. And Trey Benson should be getting a little bit more action. So I'm downgrading James Conner as far as the running backs. All right, let's move over to the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, they won the division last year with a 10-7 record. They were also 10-7 in 2023, where they made a wild card. Remember 2022, they were 4-13, but they were also coming off a Super Bowl win. Offensively scoring, they were ranked 19th while their defense was right in the middle of the pack at 15 as far as points given up. The head coach, of course, is Sean McVay. This is his 9th season with the Rams. He is 88-57 overall. At quarterback, 37-year-old Matt Stafford leads the charge. He's backed up by Jimmy Garoppolo. Running back Kyren Williams ran for almost 1,300 yards, 1,299 with 14 touchdowns. He was 3rd in the league in rushing attempts for the season. He's backed up by Blake Corum. At wide receiver, Puka Nacua is now the clear number 1 as Cooper Kupp is gone. He was a little bit banged up. He only played 11 games last year. But on his other side, maybe he's not the clear number 1 because we have Davante Adams, who's come over from the Jets. He had over 1,000 yards last year with the Jets. Tutu Atwell, maybe Jordan Whittington will get some run at the number 3 wide receiver. Tight end, Tyler Higbee. He came back late last season off an injury. He's 32 years old. They also drafted Terrence Ferguson. He's big and he's fast, and he is the heir apparent to Higbee. Mike Steph, we went through the skill positions. What do you like about this team as a whole?
What I like about this team is their defense. Like, even though the numbers say that they were middle of the road, their defense was actually what led them into the playoffs through that stretch run. I think there was a time, like 4 of the last 5 games, they averaged giving up less than 13 points a game or something to that effect when their offense was struggling. Kyren Williams just recently inked a 3-year deal, 3 years for $33 million. That was a point of contention coming into camp. Glad they got that squared away. They were active during the offseason with some upgrades on the offensive line to improve their pass protection in the running game. But their biggest addition, like you said, was Davante Adams. He's making his team a real threat in the NFC. But defensively, like I said, that's the point of attention right now. They added Poona Ford to anchor that defensive line, especially against the run. And they also drafted Josiah Stewart from Michigan, who could be a sneakily good pass rusher. Now, the one thing about their offense is you never really worried about their offense because they had Sean McVay. Now you have Davante Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, Matt Stafford. They have a multifaceted offense that's going to balance on the run and the pass. The whole playbook is open. The world is theirs. I have high expectations for the Rams. Super Bowl aspirations? I don't know. They're going to put points up, but that defense, if that defense is working with a lead the majority of the season, they're going to be a problem.
All right. So now the moment of truth. We have their over-under at 9.5 wins. Are you going over or under?
Over. Even without these additions, 2 years ago they went 10-7, and that was a surprise 10-7. A lot of people didn't believe that they were going to get into the playoffs. Last year was 10-7. I wouldn't say a surprise, but that one was more okay. You could see them 8-9, and they went on the high side. With these additions, if everything fits seamlessly as it should, because like I said, this is based on my confidence in their coaching. Yeah, I'm going over. I think they're going to win 10, 11 games, especially in this division.
For the most part, I agree with you. But my real fear is Stafford's 37. He's had back issues. Davante Adams, I understand that, he had a great season last year, but I think he's lost a step.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily trust their cornerbacks on the defensive side. Kyren Williams get run into the ground. I'm really stunned that they end up extending him. I thought they were running him into the ground and were just going to send him packing. Puka Nacua is always hurt, even though he is one of the best receivers in the game. I just think something is going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. And I think they're going to end up under, and surprisingly disappointing, not only the NFL universe, but you, Mike Steph.
I'll push back on that based on you're not asking Davante Adams to be a number one. Does he think of himself as a number one? Probably. But you're not asking him to be a number one. With the cachet that they have of weapons on the offensive side, I think they will be multifaceted. And Look, they won 10 games with Cooper Kupp hardly there and pretty much throwing Puka Nicole, running him into the ground. If they have to start some games with Jimmy Garoppolo, am I saying that the sky's the limit? No. But I feel that McVay is a better coach than Shanahan. Maybe not scheme-wise, but a better overall coach than Shanahan. Shanahan got to a Super Bowl with Garoppolo. You don't think McVay can squeeze up a couple victories with Garoppolo with the people around him? That's why I'm like, I get what you're saying. 37-year-old quarterbacks are not who you want to put all your faith in, especially with the injury history. But like I said, 10-7, I can see them going 10-7 again. It's not like the over-under is like 11-12. It's 9.5. They could do 10-7.
Now that you mention it, won't it be funny if Devontae Adams is out there getting passes from Jimmy G again? Because that went so well the first time.
He'd be trying to force a trade out. Like, listen, take me back to the Jets.
Yo, what's up? I'm Desmond, and I'm the host of Hip to the Games, a podcast from 19 Media Group, where the brilliance of basketball and hip-hop's past and present is genuinely appreciated. Join me every other Friday as we celebrate some of the greatest artists, albums, moments, songs, bars, punchlines, NBA teams, players, just anything and everything to do with the game of rap and the game of basketball. See, if you like basketball and hip-hop, that means you're hip to the games. But no matter where you fall on that spectrum, I encourage you to join the fun every other Friday on your favorite podcast platform, courtesy of the great 19 Media Group.
All right, let's move over to the Seattle Seahawks. Last year, they were 10-7. Their head coach is Mike Macdonald. This is his second year as a head coach. Of course, he took over for Pete Carroll. They have a new offense coordinator, Clint Kubiak. Previously was an offense coordinator for the Vikings and the Saints last year. They fired Ryan Grubb, apparently because Grubb wanted to throw too much. All right, as far as skill positions, they signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year contract. Of course, they had Geno Smith. Geno Smith moved on. Darnold was 14-3 with Minnesota last year. He's backed up by Drew Lock. And number 3 quarterback is Jalen Milroe. He's likely to play some part this season, even if it's just specialty packages, because he is a phenomenal athlete. At running back, they have a 2-headed monster, Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet. At wide receiver, they lost Metcalf. He's over in Pittsburgh. Tyler Lockett they released. So now it is all about Jackson Smith and Jigma coming off a pretty good rookie year, 100 catches, 1,130 yards, 6 touchdowns. He is now their clear number 1. Opposite of him will be Cooper Kupp, comes over from the Rams. He had a 67 catch, 710 yards in 12 games. As far as the number 3, they have veteran Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and they have rookie Torrey Hunter. At tight end, they just released Noah Fant. So AJ Barner is the likely starter, but he is mostly a blocker. The person to look at is Elijah Arroyo, 6'5", 254, fast and very athletic. Mike Steph, what do you think about this team as a whole?
Well, I think the defensive side is going to be the side that leads the way, especially being the fact that head coach Mike Macdonald is a defensive specialist. That unit allowed the 9th fewest points in the NFL last year and returned almost every key player. Now, on the other side of the ball, like you said, the transition, that's where the transition happened with changing over from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold, which I believe is a downgrade, in my opinion. You already mentioned the coordinator from Grubb to Kubiak, but my thing is, you said Kubiak. What was his past spots again?
Minnesota in, I believe, 2021, and last season, the New Orleans Saints.
Okay, so you got rid of a coordinator who, threw too much. Ooh, wow. Like, I mean, if you have Metcalf, why would you not try to utilize Metcalf, right? But he threw too much to go with a coordinator that came from the New Orleans Saints, whose quarterback at the end of the year was 0-6, right? Okay, I get it. I guess this is their way of saying, all right, we got Sam Darnold, but we're not going to put the franchise on his back. We want him to hand the ball off to the cashier running backs that they have and just play straight defense. And while that sometimes is a recipe for success in this new age NFL, especially in the West, I don't think that's going to get you very far. Plus, like you said, you got Cooper Kupp, who was averaging almost or just above 10 yards per catch, which he's clearly seen better days. MVS is always good for a couple key drops during the season. And Sam Darnold, you know what his record was before last year's miraculous 14-3? 21 wins and 34 losses as a starter. Yeah. And that includes his jet flameout. I don't know what to say about this team. There's a big fluctuation of where they might fit in, and that's where we get into the over and under.
All right, over under, pretty low, 7.5 games.
Ooh, interesting. So, my recollection, I got the under with Arizona, the over with the Rams. This has always been a tightly bunched division, though. No, matter of fact, I'm going under. Their defense might keep them in, but I really believe that Sam Darnold is going to cost them a lot of. Sam Darnold is not the type of player that you want to play game management with. He always throws a stupid interception. So if that's their plan of keeping it close with defense win, Sam Darnold will lose in the game. So yeah, I'll go under. I think they're going to be 7-10.
Yeah, first of all, I agree with you about their defense. Their defense is very strong, and if they do run more, I guess it's going to look it's likely to look even stronger this year. Sam Darnold had an amazing year last year, but he also was throwing to Justin Jefferson. I like Jackson Smith-Njigba. He is not Justin Jefferson. At least not yet. Cooper Kupp is not Cooper Kupp. I'm still confused what happened at the end of last season. I don't know if he was playing injured or the Rams just said, we're not throwing to the dude anymore, or he lost 3 steps while in the middle of the season. I'm not sure which one of those happened.
I think it was a combination of those 3, yeah.
I could definitely see that. I'm going over only because this total is so low. I fully intended to go under, but the idea of this team, after going 10-7 last year, 9-8 the years before, this team still seems like it's in that mold of winning about 8 games. So I think 7, 8, 9 are all possibilities. Since 8 and 9 are both over 7.5, I will go with the over and just hope for the best. As I feel like the Seahawks are putting Sam Darnold at their quarterback. By the way, they signed him to a 3-year deal, but it's very likely that if they don't like what's happened after season 1, they'll just cut him. As far as fantasy twist, I mentioned him earlier. Elijah Arroyo is somebody to keep an eye on. If he's really going to get some run, he's athletic freak. Of course, tight ends have athletic freaks that do nothing, like Kyle Pitts, but not least, I don't know. The San Francisco 49ers. They were 6-11 last year, very disappointing. Of course, 2023, they were 12-5 and conference champions, and the year before that, 13-4. Head coach Kyle Shanahan leads the squad. This is going to be his 9th season as the 49ers head coach. He is 78-66 with them, including 8-4 in the playoffs. Clay Kubiak is now going to be the offense coordinator. But remember, Kyle Shanahan basically calls the plays himself. Their new defense coordinator, Mike Steph. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know who that is. Mr. Robert Saleh. All gas, no brakes.
At quarterback, we have Brock Purdy coming off a pretty solid season, and he got paid. He's backed up by Mac Jones. At running back, we have Christian McCaffrey, hopefully healthy. Last year, he only played 4 games due to Achilles and knee injuries. Backing him up is Isaac Guerrero, who actually has a shoulder injury of his own right now. He may or may not be ready for week 1. At wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk will not be ready for the beginning of the season with the ACL, MCL repair that happened in Game 7 last year. I think we might be seeing him midseason. Of course, Deebo Samuel is gone, traded to Washington. So their number 1 wide receiver, Juwan Jennings, who had 77 catches, 975 yards, and 6 touchdowns last year. And second year, Ricky Pearsall, He had 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. As number 3 receivers, they have veteran retreads, including like DeMarcus Robinson and Russell Gage. At tight end is going to be key for them. George Kittle had over 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Also had 78 receptions. That was his most yards and catches since 2018. Mike Steph, we've gone through the 49ers skill position and their coaching. What do you think about this team as a whole?
Well, this team is way different than they were in the last year. Like, they've gotten rid of nearly 20 players via trade, free agency, release. They're really leaning into a quote-unquote youth movement of sorts to revitalize this aging team. There's plenty of star power, like you said, on this team, but 36 of the 90-man roster has fewer than 2 years of experience, which is crazy. And a lot of them have to be ready to play right away. One thing for sure, I don't know how well this is going to work, but do you know that the 49ers have the easiest schedule in the league? The easiest schedule in the league. I mean, based on 6-11, you would think so. So if they bounce back, you would think that they would bounce back in a big way. Ricky Pearsall, Mr. Second-year player, he will be expected to make an early impact. Late last year, he came on strong on the defensive front. Like you said, Robert Saleh, he returned to the team as defensive coordinator after his failed stint with my Jets. And supposedly his energy is already improving that side of his ball. Here's one key stat, though. Do you know that the 49ers were 1-5 in the division last year? If you believe they're going to be better in the division, then you believe they're going to be way better overall because their schedule is supposed to be easy outside of the division. So, so that brings us to the numbers game. Back to you, Mo.
This one I had to like rub my eyes because I didn't quite believe it. 10.5 over under 10.5 wins.
Under. The reason I'm saying under, and it's not a bias against them because I really could care less. But the reason I'm saying under 10.5, if they're 10-7, you lose the bet. They have an easy schedule, yes, but you have so many different parts that at the very least it's going to take the first month for Shanahan to realize exactly what he has, how he's going to utilize them. All right, is the health is going to be a factor? Is McCaffrey going to be fully healthy, or he's going to be on a pitch count? You know, are you going to lean fully into Purdy in the passing game, or are you going to mix and match running backs like they have throughout his whole history? The defense, Saleh has a particular style. How fast are the players going to adapt to his particular style? I remember, probably different situation, but when he took over the Jets, that first year, our defense was horrendous until he was able to actually implement his system with all the young players we had. And then for 2 years straight, they were pretty much lights out. Our problems was on the offensive side of the ball. So with all these moving parts, 10.5, that's telling me that they expect them to hit the ground running. I don't believe so. Under.
Yeah, this time we're right in lockstep. That's my thing. There's too many questions here. Obviously, the coaching is phenomenal. I really like. I wasn't joking. I really like Saleh on the defensive end. Shanahan has proven himself over and over, and all his disciples and being all over the league. But they have to build it up. They have to get it together. And I don't know, could they win more than 10.5? Sure. But as far as what you would bet, I wouldn't. I was stunned that it was 10.5. I thought it was going to be 9.5. I wouldn't have been as shocked at 8.5 as I am at 10.5. To me, this is easy under, and then we'll see what happens. Obviously, if McCaffrey stays healthy, it's a whole different team. Maybe it happens. As far as fantasy twist, 2 things. One, I'm really interested to see what happens with Christian McCaffrey this year, because if you remember when he came back last year, Shanahan just put him out there and was like, all right, full throttle. And it was kind of shocking. And I would be stunned if he does it again, but also I think he's going to do it again. So I think McCaffrey's going to be out there. And as far as fantasy goes, you just have to figure out if you think he's going to be healthy or not. Because at the end of the first round, beginning of the second round, McCaffrey is boom, bust, make or break your season. And the second part is Ricky Pearsall. He has huge potential upside. And if you could get him as your first player off the bench, I think you're really doing well.
The one thing I'm going to add, well, actually two things. One, that over-under, they're pretty much saying that they expect the 49ers to win the division because I think they got the highest over-under in the division. But also, Shanahan, he has family history of running his plays into the ground. I mean, listen, for everything that's happened recently or post-career with RG3, you can point to the Shanahans as a downfall for his career. He had a tweak in the knee. They said, boy, get out there and run that rock. And guess what? He was never the same again. Shanahans have no care. Listen, you can walk, you can run.
I think Shanahan's going to let him loose till the wheels fall off, which they might. All right, Mike Steph, before I kick it to you to head out of here, who do you have winning this division?
The Rams. I don't particularly think it's going to be close. They're going to run away with the division because it's the Rams and everybody else. Ask me for order, I would say Rams, 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks.
I am going to go. Well, first, let me say this. I think it's going to go to the last week of the season. I think week 18, we're still not going to be sure who's going to win the division. But I am going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. That is my selection. Mike Steph, take us home.
Yeah, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making HGF the football show that y'all choose to listen to, y'all choose to view, and y'all choose to patronize us with just your presence and your support. And we truly appreciate that. We're raring, ready to go for season 4. This is only our first edition. We got 7 more to go. So we'll see you next episode, where we will conquer and talk about the NFC South, where they like to fry chickens. Okay. Just I know you can't wait to squeeze it. Go ahead. You already cat's out the bag. You already got multiple. Even if I take that one, you got another one to replace it.
That's true. There are 3 of them. But you didn't do it.
Oh, Hidden Gem Football. 19 Media Group. Goodbye.
Take care.
This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
He's the great Mike Steph. I'm the MoJoKing. And welcome to Hidden Gems Football. Brought to you by the mighty 19 Media Group. Mike Steph, how are you doing? How was your off time? And then like 15 minutes later, Mo, how about you?
I got this ticker working this time. Whole new season, new world.
There's a reason why I got this. Shirt on. Unscripted violence. Take it if you want.
Hey, if I was a Jets fan, I'd be pretty angry myself. Hey, Mr. Lowfat, you didn't expect it to come from me, did you?
I'm straight edge. Drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs. That also makes me better than you. Do I feel that way? Yes, I do. Am I judging? You're damn right I am. Will you try to curry some favor? I mean, listen.
Hey, I want to be on 4AC too.
Now I gotta humble myself. I'll
wait, hold on a second.
For making me making HGF. After I already said, yeah, I'm better than your home. But I've come a long way, and that's why you see these 3 X's, because it's a ray of life right now, and it's the best part of my life beside God and beside my children and wife.